We are building the Metro Map project from the YByte Python curriculum available at www.ybyte.in. Previously, we built one single line and we built in these drop-down boxes for the user to select, for example, the start station, the stop station. So maybe let's say costumes to say my blocks. Now, in this video, we'll see how we will add the labels and the button over here, which will allow the user to further interact with this GUI, ask the fare to be clicked and the label to be displayed. Now, in fact, we can make use of the things that we have actually commented out that came along with this. So I'm going to first put a button over here. Now, remember the basic principle holds for every widget. First define, then place it. So I'm going to call it, let's say, let's say button over here. Now, in fact, this will work, but I will just call it, let's say text is calculate fare. So this will work, but just to be consistent with everything else, I'm going to tell this button to be placed inside the window. Now remember, this is just a definition. I can use the pack method like was done earlier to pack this, which means at the best available opportunity in the center, go and put it. So I expect the button to appear somewhere over here. And indeed, that's exactly what I see. There's a button over here. Now, right now, this doesn't function because we've not told what is the functionality of this. Now, in case you think that this is going too much to the bottom, you want it to be somewhere else, there are several options. One is that you could make the canvas a little bit smaller. Of course, it has to be large enough to accommodate the Python line. But, I think you can make it a little bit smaller. That should be fine. So let's say instead of 550, I try, say, perhaps 500. When I do this, notice there's more room here because the canvas has been made smaller and we are using the pack method, which means that once the canvas was over, I went and packed the button over there. Now remember, we are using pack without any options. You can play with this to get, let's say, calculate fare on the left side or the right side, or it may be just easier to use the place method if you want to place it somewhere else. Having done this, I'm also going to create a label over here. In fact, I'm going to use the same code because it's available to me. So here again, I'm going to call it, let's say, fare label, FARELABEL. So now the fare label will be basically a TK label. Label is the text that will appear there. Again, just to be consistent with everything else. So I just say, okay, put it on the window. Text is equal to, let's say, FARE equals, and I'm going to call its font, let's say a little bit, sort of bit bold. So let's use, for example, Helvetica. Now again, no compulsion, you must use this, but you get the idea that I want to, make it a little bit bigger. And again, I'm going to use, remember again, define and then place. So I've defined it. So I'm just going to say fare label dot pack. Again, what I expect is that it will appear just underneath the fare, which is okay for us, right? But obviously you can do it differently. When I run this code, notice I get a nice bold, sentence here, a nice bold label over here. It says fare equals to. Now, obviously, once we add the functionality, we will, have this fare populated. But for now, my GUI is looking pretty complete. Now it's time for me to, build in the functionality, and we'll do this in a subsequent video because you want to understand how the button actually works. I hope this is interesting for you. In general, if you think that building activities like the way we are doing helps you understand better, gives you a better direction, look at our website because we have many, many, many such activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.